So finally, for today's trio of videos, you might remember this. This is a balancing board for lithium. This is a 3.6 volt balancing board, and this one's got a capability of, what it alleges, it's got a capability of 1500 milliamps bypass current. Now that's quite optimistic. So one of the problems we have with our LTO BMS boards is because we have not had access to a working vehicle, we've got no idea what the commands are to engage balancing on the actual LTO BMS boards, which is a shame. So the other alternative is to perhaps install a balancing board of our own using the connectors inside the LTO blocks. So this is a 3.6 board, and I have been investigating these little tiny chips on the corner here. You can see this one here. I'll try and indicate it here. Now it's probably not going to focus very well, but I've been investigating these chips, and I did do quite a series of posts on these. I did quite a bit of research on them, and they are available actually in various voltages, but these boards don't seem to be available like this in the voltage that I wanted. So I managed to get some eventually after about 3 months or 2.5 months. It's a long time since I posted on this. These are 2.6 volt versions of these little tiny chips. So these, when any cell reaches 2.6 or maybe even slightly lower, I can't remember whether I specified 2.55, I can't remember exactly, but the gist is when it reaches this cutoff voltage, then these boards would start bypassing balancing current. So is it worth installing a modified one of these, i.e. desoldering all these little chips here? No, I can't do that because I've got rubbish facilities, so we'd need somebody to desolder these and then substitute the 2.6 volt version, or we could turn our own boards just using designed to fit into our LTO blocks based on those little chips that I've just been mentioning, and just design this part for ourselves. We don't need this sort of capability for current balancing. We could probably get away with a tenth of that at absolute maximum. 150 milliamps is probably more than sufficient. So that's where we are with balancing, a possible balancing solution. Can we replace these chips on these boards, or shall we spin our own boards with these chips, the 2.6 stroke 2.55 volt ones replaced, fitted on here instead of the 3.6 volt ones, and do our own little balancing board? Is it necessary? That's the question. I think we need lots more long-term data before we're going to be able to make a really sensible decision about that. But for now, this is what I'm potentially looking at. I might try and do one by hand just to see if I can do one chip. They are absolutely tiny, and we'll see if I can make it work on one cell just to see how easy it is actually to do that.